AirDoctor. First of all, I'm super glad that you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
And this is really important because we've gone through a series of air purifiers, trying to find things that are right. And to be honest with you, like even with Molecule and some of the other ones that we supported in the past, when we put them into practice, they didn't work.
Yeah.
And I've seen the science around this. I know it works, and I want to know more about why it works. So tell me a little bit about the philosophy behind this and why this works so well.
Well, this is triple filtration. A lot of companies just put a HEPA filter in purifiers, and they don't include any carbon. And HEPA and carbon aren't created equal. So it's really important that you're using the best quality carbon, really, really dense carbon filter, and then also a really beautiful level HEPA filter that removes down to 0.003 microns.
And 0.003 would be all the way down to viruses.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you guys are the other part too is you're heavily steeped in the science. So there's a lot of evidence behind this to support it.
We do third-party testing on all of our products, and it's right on our website. So we're very, very based in science. Air purifiers aren't created equal, and it's really important that people educate themselves on really the type of air purification that they're bringing into their space.
So somebody looks at this, they're going to spend a little bit more money on this than they would on a typical air filter. So we're in a house here, and we're in Manhattan Beach. I mean, we have the LA fires, which are predominant. You don't see anything really in the air, but that doesn't mean there's nothing in the air.
No, and also what people really need to understand is that air gets trapped in our homes. Our indoor air is 100 times more polluted than outdoor air. So outside might look gorgeous right now, but indoors the air's been trapped, and you have to purify the air in your home because everything's trapped in our homes.
So, and this is another thing too, especially if you live in a warm climate. Yeah. Now this is how important it is. You live in a warm climate, you have all of the toxins that are built in a home that you would not. I have people all the time that are eating right, they're doing everything organic, they're walking the skincare products, they some of them even go to the point where they'll get shower heads or they'll get the, but then they live in a home, and that home with sun on it is baking the home just like an oven, and they're getting all the toxins that were used to make the home in their air when they're living and sleeping.
Yeah, and everyone, I mean, everyone says, like, don't microwave plastic containers, right? It's basically the same thing. Like, that's what we're doing to our houses. And so we're really big air consumers as people. And most people don't know that we take 3,000 gallons of breaths a day. That's how much air we're bringing into our system. So when you think about just the amount of air we're using as humans, it's really important it's as pure as possible.
You know, it's funny because we do have 3,000 gallons of air in per day. The average person breathes right now 15 to 16 breaths per minute, which is actually means they're hyperventilating. Do you know that the less times you breathe, the longer you live?
I didn't know that. I learned that today.
Yeah, and because I breathe 2 to 3 breaths per minute, and to the point where biological machines have troubles testing me. But what I find is the quality of air, and there's different ways to measure quality of air, but when the air is not good, our body naturally tightens up around our shoulders and chest, and we don't bring air into the lower lungs, because the lower lungs is where the majority of the exchange happens.
Yeah, and especially in times like this when we're all in fight or flight, like these fires are going on, we're all kind of pumped up with adrenaline, like we're barely breathing at all right.
Right, we stop
like
breathing.
Holding our breath, totally, yeah.
And then that drives up adrenaline, which drives anxious feelings, anxious thoughts, racing thoughts, and that's all caused by when you have contaminants, you actually shallow breathe, and so your body doesn't properly respirate. So again, one of the biggest things that's happening, especially with women today, is chronic fatigue, anxiety, stress and anxiety. And these things are driven actually by respiratory functions.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's so many horrible things in the house, especially for women that like have horrible effects on women's fertility, hormonal health, that sort of thing. There's all these phthalates everywhere that we're breathing that are really, really harmful, and they're hormonal disruptors.
Yeah, all the endocrine disruptors that are in the home. I mean, it goes right down. it's pretty deep because we took our copper pipes out and we put plastic pipes in everywhere. We took the lead paint off the walls, which actually lead paint stops EMF. So we basically turned our houses into an oven. And I'm going to say that if people are not using an air filter, this is more important in the house than any of the other accessories. So like people will decorate their house and they'll spend money on the best furniture, they'll spend money on the best appliances and stuff like that, and then they go cheap on air. And I suggest that people extremely refocus and go to the best air filter and the best water filtrations that they can.
Yeah, and it's definitely foundational. So everyone takes breathing for granted, and it's one of the most important things you can do for your health.
Everybody takes breathing for granted until they can't breathe properly.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is about breathing properly, and we're going to be talking in detail about this, getting into a little bit more of the science and the why. But I'm really excited about having these in the content house, the Human Garage Content House, and partnering with AirDoctor. It's important that we lead people in the right direction, and we were following science, or what we thought was science, and there's science and there's marketing. And the research that we've done is that the science that you have is correct.
Yes, we work really, really hard on validating the science, and we really invest in our third-party testing.
Super cool.